One of the struggles to figure out in the phorm app is whether or not you're sedentary, light active, or very active. And so I wanted to show you what the three differences are. Someone who is sedentary, has a desk job, doesn't talk as much as I talk, and does not work out, does not lift heavy weights, and someone who just takes leisurely walks a couple of times a week. Maybe someone who just goes on a 15, 25-minute walk or just takes a dog for a walk, okay? That is someone who is sedentary, okay? When you set your app to sedentary, if you're not working out as hard, then your body is not burning as much energy. Imagine your body is a fire pit, or imagine your body is a stove, okay? When you put the stove on very low, that is someone who's sedentary. If you put it in a medium, that is light active. And when you put it on high, that's very active. In terms of exercise, let me show you another example. These are 5-pound dumbbells. And this is someone who thinks they're active, but they're actually sedentary. If you're doing my workouts or you're going to the gym or wherever you work out, and you work out like this, I guess I'm done. And then you stand around and you maybe text on the phone, or you just stand around and you wait for your body to calm down to do the second set, okay? When someone who is very active, they do not spend more than 40 seconds in between the sets, because when you stop lifting, your muscle is constantly pumping when you're lifting, but as soon as you put the weight down, your muscle stops. And then you have to pick it up again, and your muscle starts again. And then when you stop, the muscle stops. And if the muscle stops for more than 45 seconds, then you're having to start all over again. Does that make sense? This is why it's very difficult to get fit, because what the body requires to get to that sweet spot is mentally challenging. When I used to work out, before I knew how to work out, I would spend 2 to 3 minutes playing on my phone, waiting for the next set. Meanwhile, I had already missed the next set, okay? So that is someone who is sedentary. Now, if you're lightly active, you're someone who has a desk job, but you tend to get up a couple of times a day, maybe walk over to your coworker for a little conversation, or maybe you're someone who is a stay-at-home mom and you clean every day, you do laundry, you wash dishes, you're moving around a little bit more. Or when you're at the gym or doing my workouts, instead of using the 5-pound weights, you are someone who's using 10-pound weights that looks like this. 10-pound weights is more, yeah. You still don't wait until that final burn. You feel like, oh, I think this is enough. Because again, it's a mental challenge. A lot of people just feel like, I think I did enough. I did 10, and then they put the weights down, and then they start playing on their phone again. And then they start playing on the phone again. And maybe instead of waiting 45 seconds, they wait 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So that would be someone who is lightly active. They do a little bit more than a person who is actually sedentary. And then a person who is very active, who is someone like me, who doesn't shut up all day, and so I'm burning more calories because of how much I talk, because of how fast I talk, because I talk with my hands, because I'm just a very outgoing person, and all of this burns calories. Kissing burns calories, talking burns calories, moving my hands burns calories. I don't sit around. I'm constantly walking around. I'm always with my kids. I'm even not taking a breath doing this video right now, and so I'm burning more calories than anybody else, okay? That is someone who is very active. And so when someone who is very active, their stove is on high and they're constantly burning their energy. And so when I work out, okay, and you see me on video, for those of you who work out with me, when I work out, it's always like, ugh, 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 and even when I'm at the gym, I might not be screaming like that because that's embarrassing. But in my mind, I do feel that, like you have to feel the burn at every single set. Every single set. If you follow anyone on Instagram, look at the girls in Brazil. They are always being pushed to do more because come on, this is what it takes. You might even notice this is why a personal trainer is highly required for those of you who go to the gym, because a mind always stops at the last few reps because we fear we're going to rip something. We fear that it's too hard. We're always in fear of our own mind. And I will be the first one to tell you that when I am at the gym by myself and there's no one to push me to go to the next level, I do stop. I do. The only thing that helps me do extra is when I know I'm live, is when I'm recording, and because you're watching me and you are my motivation and you are my trainer and you are my accountability and you are my drive and you are my inspiration to show you that I can't get out of my mind at that time because I know you're watching me, and that is what helps me to do that extra push. If I record on my own and I'm not live, I don't push myself to that level unless I have a conversation with myself that says, Karina, they're still going to see it. Karina, they need to see how to do it. Show them how to do it. And like I have a conversation with myself to push myself. But this is why a personal trainer exists at the gym, is to push the person to the last rep, to the 15th rep, to the 16th rep, whatever it takes. And that is someone who is highly active. And so if you are not that person, then you're not burning that much energy. And if you're not seeing change in the photos, if you're not seeing change on the scale, then your nutrition diary is telling you that you are eating too much for what you put out with your day activity. And so you need to scale back on your nutrition and lower it. And sometimes I have experienced with some of you in the app, sometimes even sedentary calories is still too high for some people who tell me they're active, but then the scale's not moving and nothing's changing. You also need to remember sometimes, because we're all moms, the biggest hidden calories that many moms don't realize they're doing is when they're snacking on their kids' food and it's just a bite, but it's a bite in the morning, a bite in the afternoon, 3 bites for dinner. The kid didn't finish their meal, so then you end up finishing the meal. Or, you're itchy to have something and you're at the office and you're like, well, I'm only gonna have like 3 bites of the donut, it's okay. And what we forget is that we go into autopilot mode and we don't even know what we're doing, and we forget what we're doing. Sometimes we don't even know what we say to someone, right? Have you ever driven to a familiar location, but you were not even paying attention to how you were driving, but you still got there safely? Well, that's what I call autopilot. I can drive my kids to school, and sometimes I just kind of black out, and I'm like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? Like, our hormones have changed the second we gave birth to those kids. And so some of these things happen, especially when we get into autopilot. And so many girls will tell me, well, I'm eating this and I'm eating healthy and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But then I look at the nutrition and the tracking does not match to what the person is saying. And obviously I can't see you, you can see me because this is not FaceTime. You might be overeating on the weekends. You might not be working out on the weekends. This fitness life is 7 days. And what you do in 7 days all adds up. If you do something one way from Monday through Friday, and then you do it differently on Saturday and Sunday, well, that Saturday and Sunday can ruin what you did Monday through Friday. And so you can end up in this like mousetrap that doesn't change. And so when you tell me something, I hear you, but just remember, I can't see you. And sometimes people share things with me, but only a little bit because they think that I'm going to judge them, or they're afraid to tell me the whole truth because they don't want to admit to themselves that they might not be putting in 100% into this as they think they are. And so they don't want to admit it. Just like if a person is an alcoholic, they don't want to admit that they're an alcoholic, right? Or just like sometimes I tell my son, hey, you didn't clean up. And he goes, yes, I did. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. And then I have to like drag him to show him how he did not clean up because one little thing was missed. Well, this is the same thing in your life, and this is the same thing with your fitness, and this is the same thing with your nutrition, and this is the same thing with everything that you do, okay? So my best advice is recognize, are you taking too many breaks in between sets? Are you lifting really hard? Are you, putting that stove on high in your body? Are you sweating, screaming, crying in your mind? Are you leaving the gym going, that was a really, you know what I mean? That's what it takes for a human body to change. And it's so hard for me to explain this because there's no way to explain until you just try what I'm saying, until you focus on what I'm saying, until you do what I'm saying, because I promise you that's what works. That's just science. And every human body science is different. We are not all the same people. And if you ever compare yourself to me, I'm begging you not to. Please don't compare yourself to me. Please don't compare yourself to anybody you see online. Please don't compare yourself to anyone. Even when I share progress pictures, I'm only sharing other people's progress pictures. I'm going to cry. I only share other people's progress pictures to show you that what I am saying and how I do coach and what I teach does work if you put in the work. But if you don't put in the work, it's not that my plan is not working for you. It's that you are not working the plan. And this goes back to every single fitness program, diet you have ever done in your life. Anytime someone has ever said, that didn't work for me, I promise you everything works. It's that person who didn't do the work that is required. If a program requires to be a certain way 7 days a week, then you have to do it 7 days a week. If your scale is not moving, it's your nutrition and fitness is telling you the truth. If your body composition, your muscle, your pictures aren't changing week after week, the nutrition and the fitness you're doing is telling you the truth. What you put into it is what that outcome is going to be. A plus B equals C. We all know that is the truth, okay? Okay, if you have any questions, if you need a phone call, if you need a different plan, if there's anything else that you feel you need, but you're afraid to tell me what you need, just suck it up, buttercup. I'm not here to judge you. Tell me what your truth is, because the truth that hurts will set you free. Okay? Have a good day.